Spoilers. In the day of the internet, they are pretty much unavoidable. Some don't actually amount to much when it comes to your experience of a new game. But of course, there are those that can definitely take away what could have been a unique moment for you. So before we get into it, let me know what spoilers you entered Silksong with. Well, that's if you encountered them before picking up the game. Now, I picked up the game a few days after its release. 2 or 3 days maybe. But one thing I could not avoid, and trust me, I tried, is the constant noise of how hard the game is. Okay, this is not a spoiler in that sense, but it really makes you enter the game with a weird perspective before you even make it far. Because as you play, you are constantly thinking about how most of the people are complaining about the difficulty of the game. So it warps your view of the game from the beginning. So instead of experiencing the difficulty spike yourself as you play, you already expect every challenge that comes up to be brutal, whatever it is. Platforming or boss fights, doesn't really matter what it is, you are already pre-programmed to find it hard, which can really mess up your first playthrough. The bosses. So this one is kinda weird for me because I don't remember if it made me angry or what. But anyway, a few bosses got spoiled for me before I played the game. Here's a few I knew about. I knew the Beastfly was a pain in the ass before I even encountered it, which kinda made me more frustrated than I should have been. Another thing is I already knew that many of the bosses had ads, so I was already mad before I even faced them. Another experience taken away from me. Sad times, really. So anyway, Carmelita, First Sinner, Lost Lace, and Phantom Fall into the bosses that I already knew about way earlier before reaching them. Regardless of how much I tried to avoid spoilers, and believe me, I tried, Carmelita is the one I wished I entered without knowing anything about her besides what was in the old trailers. But, oh well. Locations. This section is the one where I didn't get so many spoilers as compared to the others, but of course, there's a few things that I couldn't avoid. First up was Mount Fae. Now, I didn't mind this one because I didn't really get spoiled on what Mount Fae is or what happens there. You know, like the cold thing or the timer to keep you from freezing. Yeah, I didn't know any of those things. But somehow, I knew that this place is where I would find the double jump ability. So as far as spoilers go, I wasn't really annoyed at this one because in the end, Mount Fae was pretty cool as I suffered my way through it. So I'll let this one pass. Now, the same can't be said about Bile-Water. Everywhere I went on the internet, I could not avoid the images, the thumbnails, the forums, just berating this place. It was just everywhere. The constant complaints about the runbacks, the maggot water, the lack of benches, and something called Groll the Great. Imagine being angry about a place you haven't even been to yet. Yep, that was me. My mind was already made up about Bile-Water way before I reached it, which kinda makes me think what I would have thought of it had I went in spoiler-free. Maybe I could have liked it, who knows? But anyway, I already knew there was something called Groll the Great with a terrible gauntlet somewhere around Bile-Water, and that I would have to suffer all the way through that place. I really didn't like this spoiler. I think my experience of Bile-Water would have been a bit positive had I not been spoiled. But anyway, that's all in hindsight. The other location I knew about before getting there was the Green Prince's Lost Kingdom, Verdania. Granted, I just saw still images of the place, so this one doesn't count as a big spoiler, so I'll give it a pass too. Khan's Tower was one thing that I encountered too, which made me think it was an actual place we can explore in the game, as opposed to being a memory of Khan. So I guess that spoiler didn't amount to much. Which is whatever, honestly. These last few ones aren't that serious, because when I actually reached those things in the game, they were entirely different from what I thought they were when I got spoiled. Like Hornet getting cursed in the game. Even though I got spoiled on that, it didn't really take away from my experience as I was playing through the game. And obviously I heard a few words about there being a place like Path of Pain or whatnot, but when I finally found it, it really didn't amount to anything, so that doesn't count in my spoiler list. The other thing is Farloom having the Abyss, just like in the original Hollow Knight. But that was as vague as it could be, because I did not expect what I encountered in Act 3. So all in all, there are a few spoilers that I wish I had avoided prior to picking up the game, but in hindsight, many of them didn't really change how I enjoyed the game, except for a few, which is whatever. Okay, bye!